Hey, it's Clayton Olson, and I've got something I want to share with you today. In this video, we're going to talk about one powerful thing that you can do to reclaim your self-love and self-respect. And this video is going to be particularly useful to some of you who are watching this, who may be in a circumstance where you have given your power away, or you are in a situation chasing somebody, whether you're a man or a woman, chasing a man or a woman, and for whatever reason, that person is not on the same page with you. Maybe they don't want you. Maybe they've given you some signs that they could be available for something. Perhaps there's an emotional connection you have with a person, and the two of you have developed some type of bond, and maybe there's been some intimacy as well. But the continued experience that you keep having in relation to this person is one of frustration. One of wanting more, but not quite being able to push it past the finish line. So, step one is to identify where that's happening in your life right now. Where are you giving your power away? And I am speaking in the domain of intimate relationship right now, but maybe there's a place where you're giving your power away with people who have been acquaintances or friends or folks that you are more committed to the relationship than they are. Examine your life and see if anything pops up there. Okay, now here's a second step. It takes some courage. Break up with them. Drop the connection, walk away from it. Why? Well, that is the quickest way for you to reclaim your self-respect and to reclaim your self-love. And it might seem intuitive and obvious, but for the folks that I work with when I'm coaching, and a lot of the questions that I get from people like yourself who are watching my channel, they're in situations where they're trying to force something that isn't actually unfolding. And they're in a situation in which they continue to give and show up powerfully, yet, and when I say powerfully, what I mean is show up fully present, wanting, yearning, asking for this thing to occur with another person, and it's not occurring. And rather than walk away, they stay in that situation. And so let's look at the mechanics really quick of why this is so detrimental. If you are staying in a situation for a long period of time where there is unrequited love, or where there's a power imbalance in the relationship, there's not reciprocity, it creates this breeding ground for the weeds of self-doubt and the weeds of undeservingness to grow in your mind, to where you start to make these accusations about your heart. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not attractive enough. Maybe I need to be more of this or more of that. And then finally this person would love me. What's wrong with me? Now, the unfortunate part about this is if we get stuck in a cycle, and more significantly, a habit of asking ourselves these questions over and over again: what's wrong with me? Why can't I make this work? What's wrong with the situation? What did I do wrong? How can I become more valuable in their eyes? How can I change this? We end up creating an identity of one where we're compromised, where we're not actually seeing ourselves for the high value, beautiful, precious gift that we actually have to offer in a relationship. And so what ends up happening is we communicate to the universe, we communicate to our subconscious, we communicate to those people around us that we are okay and that we can tolerate accepting breadcrumbs, scraps. We're okay accepting a half-assed relationship. And the longer we stay in that, the more our nervous system acclimates to it, and the less likely anything's going to change. So if you're in this situation, this is a bit of a wake-up call, because if you have turned against yourself in this territory and you're finding yourself obsessing about the person, thinking about them, thinking about the different plans of what you could do, going inward and attacking yourself, that is a habit that I'm inviting you to drop right now. And the way to restore your self-respect and come from a place of possibility where you know that you can create, or at least you set up the environment for you to create the types of connections you want, whether they're friendships or relationships, is to get rid of and drop the relationships that you are experiencing frustration and self-doubt on a regular basis. They're not healthy, they become toxic, and you don't need that. And oftentimes, they can masquerade under this virtue of love, of this yearning. and we can get attached to the hope of something changing. And I say the hope is not your friend in this situation. The hope is actually the poison that is keeping you stuck in a world where you will further go down the rabbit hole of not believing in yourself and accepting what you don't ultimately want to accept and divorcing you from you. So step 2, break up with these people. It could be that you end up sending a text if you don't know them that well and it's more of a fantasy that you're involved in. It could be that you call them up, maybe meet them in person. And what are the words? What could you say? It could be something as simple as, hey, I've had a lot of realizations about our connection lately, or about how I am in the connection. I realize it's not healthy for me because I don't think that we're on the same page, and what I'm wanting is not something that you're ready for. And I'm finally waking up to that and realizing that. So what I need to do to make sure that I honor myself and honor my heart is I need to step away from this. It's nothing personal. So thank you for coming into my life and actually helping me learn this valuable lesson. Now, think about the impact that'll have on you. Right? Now, who knows what'll happen with them? Things could transform and maybe the relationship becomes just more real and you realize that there's a reset that hits. Maybe you guys go no contact for a while and become friends, or the connection resets into something that is more true for both of you, or it ends completely. But for you, what you end up declaring in that stance that you take is that you now turn the page and you close this chapter and you open yourself up to the uncertainty of what's next. And I know that can be terrifying for some. I mean, shit, that's terrifying for me. Like turning the page and letting go of hope and stepping into the unknown. That can be terrifying for every human being at times. And the more that we can dance with that uncertainty and realize that what we want to create exists in the uncertainty. It doesn't exist by hanging on and trying to force something that's not it. The more that we can step forward and we have the ability, the resources, the flexibility, the perspective to call what we want into our life. And the first act of becoming congruent with that and aligning ourselves to be able to bring that into our lives is by declaring that enough is enough and it's time for us to walk. My name's Clayton Olson, and if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like, subscribe to the channel. And if you're in a situation in your life where you are wanting to up-level your relationships, you're wanting to get individualized coaching, or you want to be in a dialogue with me about becoming the best version of you and cleaning up your story so that you can step into a more whole and complete version of yourself and start leading in your life in a way that's fulfilling, feel free to email me, contact me, visit my website to learn more. Thanks for watching.